Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Good morning, I hope everyone had a good weekend. So today I wanted to do something makeup related because I haven't done that in a few weeks. I wanted to do a male makeup for TV and film. Now I love doing TV and film and theatre makeup. Like that is like the makeup that I really enjoy doing, and it's the kind of path that in my career that I've done the most work on. I've only been doing makeup since 2018, but since then I've done 4 films, and on one of those films I got an IMBD credit. I done 4 days work experience on River City, and I've also done photo shoots, and I've done 2 theatre shows as well. And to be in the makeup industry since 2018 and to have all those jobs, especially in TV, is amazing. So today I wanted to go over a male makeup for TV and film. Now, male makeup for TV and film, it's kind of like a no makeup look, so they shouldn't look like they're wearing any makeup at all, if that makes sense. So you have to make it as natural looking as possible, but you also don't want it to look too shiny on camera, because when you're doing makeup for TV and film, or even for photo shoots, your makeup may be amazing and it may look great, but if you've not used the correct products, the correct powders, or the correct foundation, or the correct colour, as soon as you got under those like heavy studio lights or the camera lights, your makeup's just going to look, it's going to look too pale or too orange or too shiny, or it's going to be very, very obvious that the actor or the model is wearing makeup. Especially for TV and film, the actors aren't meant to look like they're wearing any makeup at all. Like, if you watch a film and you see the actor wake up, they're wearing makeup. It's just very subtle, very natural. It has to look as natural as possible. There'll be times in films where you do get to do a glam makeup where it's meant to look as if they are wearing makeup, but most of the time in soaps or television or film, they're walking about their day to day and they're not meant to look like they're wearing any makeup, or if they are, it has to be kept very subtle. And especially for males, in TV and film, men don't wear makeup, so the makeup has to look very, very natural and very, very faded in, and as if they're not wearing anything at all. So I thought that I would just do a wee male makeup look for TV and film. Also, if you're doing makeups for TV and film, you also, like, before you do it, you'll speak to the director, the people that deal with lighting, blah blah. They'll give you a briefing what makeup they want and how heavy or how light to go with it and stuff like that. And they'll let you see like what lighting you're going to be under, what the camera lighting is going to be and stuff like that. So you'll have all that as well. But it has to look as natural and as no makeup as possible. So what I like to do when I'm doing, so obviously I'll cleanse, tone and moisturise my actor or model's face. I will then go in with a primer to prime the face. This is just so the makeup will stick on their face and will stay in place. Because obviously you're shooting all day. You can be shooting for 12 hours or sometimes longer than that days. I think it's like 12 to 16 hour days you can shoot, especially if you're working on a film. It can be a very long process, and you can be working in a lot of different conditions. You can be working outside, you can be working inside, it can be roasting, it can be cold. You know, you're working under all sorts of different weather conditions as well, especially if you're filming outside and you've just done someone's makeup and they're filming in the rain and it's windy. You're going to have to keep reapplying and reapplying, so make sure you cleanse, tone, moisturise and prime so it does stay on. Obviously you will need to top up the day as the day goes on, especially if it's a long filming day. You obviously have to reapply the makeup and do touch-ups, but you obviously, and when you're working on TV and film, the makeup artists will have their own monitor where they can look when they're filming, and if anything is moved or looks different, or the actors maybe went for their lunch and come back, or what, we can see on the monitor, and then we go and we fix that. So we're behind the camera as well, looking for any touch-ups that may need done. Sorry, you know, especially with hair and stuff, like the film actors' hair's lit up like that. You can see on the side of the monitor, right, stop film, I need to go and fix that. And a lot of males as well, you might need to like pluck their eyebrows and stuff like that, which is fine. Always have a pair of eyebrow pluckers on you just to pluck away any stray hairs. Just to don't start giving the model or the actor can, you know, giving them like nice sculpted brows. Just any wee hairs that just look untidy, just make sure you do that. So after I've cleansed, toned, moisturised and primed the skin, I like to use a BB cream. The one I'm using just now is just from, I can't remember where I got this from, but it's just a BB cream. It helps even skin tone, blur imperfections, smooth fine lines, hydrate the skin and cover up your complexion. The reason I like to use a BB cream on a model and not like foundation or anything like that is because I feel like you don't want a male to look as if they are orange or they are wearing foundation or they look cakey. You want them to look as natural as possible. All you really want to do for a male is kind of cover up any blemishes or imperfections, even out their skin tone, get rid of any dark circles, and just kind of lift and brighten their skin and make their skin look nice and moisturised and healthy. And I feel like using a BB cream is good for that because it doesn't make them look as if they're wearing any makeup, and it also is moisturising their skin as well as getting rid of any blemishes and imperfections. So obviously if I was using this on a client, I would use a sponge and a brush, but because I'm using it on myself, I'm just going to use, in fact no, I won't use my hands, I'll use a little sponge. I've actually used too much product. You don't need a lot of product if you're working on a male. If you're working on a female, you can use foundations and stuff like that, but for males I would stick to like BB creams or tinted moisturisers and stuff like that. Or if the production want them to wear foundation, that's fine, but most of the time they don't. So I'm just going to use a wee sponge and I'm just going to dip that in and I'm just going to apply that. I don't want to go too heavy with it because I don't want them to look cakey, because you want it to look as natural and as fresh faced as possible. You don't want them to look as if they are wearing anything, and especially under harsh filming or studio lights, everything will just look more, you know, prominized. I don't know if that's the word. Will look more prominent. So I'm just going to smooth this all over my skin, and make sure you bring it down to the neck so they don't have a nice complexion skin and then a white neck. So make sure you bring it down the neck and round the jawline. And you might be limited in time when you're doing this. Say that you're filming if they start filming at 9, you better get in there a bit early. But there's a saying, you're never too early, because if you're meant to be there, say that filming starts at 9 and you're told to be there for 7:30, you've got so many actors and makeups to do. So I'd maybe get there about 7 and you're giving yourself a little half an hour head start, in case, you know, anything goes wrong or stuff needs fixing or an actor's late. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be behind, so I think it's always better to be that little bit early, especially if you're working on TV and film, because you are limited with how much time you have with the actors to do their makeup. Obviously you can do touch-ups throughout the day and stuff like that, but in the morning when you're actually doing the makeup, like the full makeup, you're limited on time. So if you're on time, you're late, because you should be there early, especially because you need to set out your kit, you need to find a spot, you need to get everything ready for the actors coming in, you have to get your brief. So, you know, it is good to be early. So I'm just patting the rest of this into the skin. I'm just looking off camera because I've got a mirror there, so I'm just looking off camera, making sure that I've not missed anywhere. And bring it up to the hairline. sometimes if you're working on film, the actors might want to do the makeup themselves, and that's totally fine, but you obviously can give them a wee bit of advice and adjustment. That can happen, rarely, but it can happen, and you're just kind of like, why am I here then? Because I've worked on a few films, and a lot of actors like doing their touch-ups and stuff themselves, or they will do their makeup themselves, and they just really rely on us to watch the monitor and kind of fix anything that needs fixing in between takes or lunch breaks, which is weird. But I suppose if they know what they're doing, they know what they're doing, and they're happy to do it themselves, then that's fine. But most of the time they won't. Most of the time they'll ask it'll be the makeup artist that will be asked to do it. So after I've applied my BB cream, I then like to go in with just a wee bit of concealer. And I just like to conceal under the eye, but I don't like to use a lot because it's a male, so just a tiny, tiny little bit. And obviously on any of their blemishes, obviously I've got a wee spot there. So you just cover up any wee blemishes, just very subtly. You can do that, but make sure obviously it matches their skin tone as well. I'm going to take another brush and I'm just going to dab that into my skin, just under my eyes, on any wee blemishes or redness that I still have. I'm just going to dab that in. Just very gently. Dab, 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 dab. So here we go. And obviously when you're working on TV and film, the lighting, it can get very hot under the light, so actors can end up looking very sweaty, so that's why you're maybe better going matte with the products you use, because you don't want them to look shiny. You really don't, you don't. So you're better sticking to matte products, or maybe powders, just so they don't look shiny under like the hot studio lights. Maybe under the nose, that's the bit you don't ever want to miss, is under the nose. So once I've done that, as I can see, I've already evened out my skin. You can see I've already evened out my skin, covered any blemishes. I then like to use a matte powder, and that's just to set it as well. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to powder under the eyes and just kind of all over the face. And this also, this will just set the makeup. It also mattes, so it stops them from looking shiny and sweaty, especially under harsh studio lighting. That's why we're saying you're better sticking to powders, because you don't want them to get into the studio and then they've got all these hot lights on them, the studio lights, and then they start to sweat or they look too shiny. So you are better sticking to mattes when working in TV and film, unless you've had a brief that's asked you to not, or they're wanting the actor to look sweaty or whatever it may be. So apply that all over the face. That'll just kind of set your base. So once I've done that, if you want, you can use a little bit of mascara, but I would use a brown or a very subtle black, and I wouldn't go too heavy. It's just to kind of make, most of the time you won't do this, but maybe in TV and film they might ask you to. So just go in with a wee bit of mascara on your actor, very lightly and very, very subtly. It's just, oh pardon me. It's just to kind of make the eyes pop a wee bit, but don't go too with it, because you don't want it to look as if they are wearing mascara. Just going to go in with a bit of powder under my eyes. And remember, always bring it down the neck as well. Make sure the neck and the face match, and the ears. I forgot to say that at the start, don't ever forget about the ears. And I won't be putting any lipstick or anything on my, you won't put any lipstick or anything on a lacquer. The best thing you're better doing is getting a little bit of Vaseline or lip salvage. Oh, what's the name? I forgot the word. Oh my god, lip moisturiser if they've got dry lips. So I'm just going to use a wee bit of Vaseline, and I'm just going to apply that to the lips. You might be asked in TV and film as well to add a wee bit of redness to the lips, but not as if they're wearing lipstick, just a wee bit of redness to kind of bring out the colour, especially if they're going to be under harsh lighting and you want them to kind of stand out. You can add a wee bit of like a wee tiny bit of red lipstick or a wee bit of kind of red lip liner or something on just to kind of brighten up their lips, but most of the time it will just be a wee bit of Vaseline or lip balm or something you use. And then obviously, I don't have my eyebrow comb with me, but you'll comb out your actor's eyebrows. And that is it. That is a male makeup for TV and film. Here you can see, I have covered up my blemishes, I have moisturised my lips. The base is still it's very natural. It's very no makeup, and that is the look you'll do when using a male. For a female, it is different, the techniques are different, the products you apply are different. It is very much the same. It should look very natural and very simple, but it can be different. But I'll do another video on that at some point. But yeah, that's makeup on a male for TV and film. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful for any, and even if you're just a male that just wants to wear makeup, this is a perfect natural makeup look for you to use. If you've got bad skin and you want to cover it up, you can honestly use these steps and use these makeup techniques just to give yourself a kind of natural base if you want to cover anything, any imperfections. I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday and have an amazing week. Thanks for watching. Bye.